Welcome to Model Citizen. I'm Conor Kennedy Ryan. This is a podcast where we pull back the curtain behind the modeling industry and look at the who's, the what's, and the why's. Today, I'm so excited to chat with Jocelyn Beaudoin, a true multi-hyphenate in this industry. She's a prop stylist, an interior designer, and of course, a model at MUSE. I can't wait for you to hear what she has to share from her decades of experience. I'm so excited to welcome our guest today. She's the true multi-hyphenate. She's a model. She's an interior designer. She's a prop stylist. And I'm so lucky to have Jocelyn Beaudoin here with us. Welcome.
Thank you. It's so nice to be here.
So multi-hyphenate, when I was young, I felt like that was a bad term. It meant that you weren't choosing what you really wanted to do and you weren't owning it. The world has changed a lot and you seem to embody that. Can you talk about that?
It's changed a lot, but still when people ask you what you're doing and you have all these titles, they're kind of like, I don't know if everybody takes you as seriously just because you do multiple things. But for me, what I do, it's all the same. So, decorating a home is different than doing a set, obviously. But it's the same elements. It's just a different context. And modeling is now I'm in front of the camera, not behind. But I've been there my whole adult life. So it's just like I've crossed over, but I'm still there. So to me, it's all the same, even though there's hyphens.
I mean,
it's a continuum.
You have such an unusual career, many careers. But I guess one fascinating thing to me is, as you said, you've been on set hundreds of times, if not thousands. Can you describe that environment to those of us who work in office jobs?
Well, just I have to say one thing about office jobs. I had one office job for 2 days.
It wasn't meant to be.
And I got fired because I forgot all the documents in the copy machine. Anyway, the secret documents. So anyway, that's not my world. So, I mean, it's a very intense. You can't, you have to be on all the time. You can't slack off. You can't take a day off. You can't be sick. So it's not as relaxed in a certain way, but it's always exciting because it's always new people. It's always a new situation, a different place, and you have to adapt quickly. You have to be ready for this whole new set of circumstances each time you get a new job. And that's not easy. For me, it's second nature at this point, but I see my young assistants sometimes, they're like, ugh.
It's overwhelming.
Because it's overwhelming, especially because you have to remember a lot of names and who's who and the hierarchy, who you can talk to, can't talk to, because there's a whole hierarchy, just like in an office. You don't walk into your boss's office, obviously. So it's the same on set, except that it's all open. But, don't go talk to the client like they're your best buddy. You can't do that. So, but the other thing that's very different is that what you produce in 1 day or 2 days, whatever, that's it. People have spent oftentimes millions of dollars for that, and it has to all fall into place.
And there's no do-overs.
There's no do-overs. And you have a small part, everybody has a small part in creating that situation. To be successful, you have to be on point. You can't mess up. And that's where, it's challenging, but it's fun.
Let's talk about your route to modeling. Can you describe it a little bit?
Yes, well, I didn't pursue it. It came to me. So one of my assistants, sneakily gave my name to a casting agent for Rachel Comey for their fashion show because they wanted older women. And they called me to tell me when my fitting was. And I was like, what? Because he also gave photos of me. Anyway, but I had decided in my life as I was getting older that I had need to say yes to everything. And for me, doing this was a big step because I'm sort of a bit shy. And that was like, oh my God, I'm like, can I do this? And then I thought, let's just do it. And I did it, and it kind of took off like wildfire. So I don't know, it was so, I did the show, there was some buzz about me, so then she kept using me to do some photos and a casting. They were casting for Milk Makeup. They called me, and when I went, the owner of Milk Makeup, I know him because he's also Milk Studios, so he picked me out of the line, and he was like, we want her done. And so I did that ad, and then you called me the minute it came out. I didn't even know it had come out. So it happened because it needed to happen. I didn't do anything to make that happen except show up.
I was shocked to see you in it and outraged. And all I could think was, wait a minute, if she's going to model, she has to model at Muse. And when I talked to you about it, you were so open. Do you feel like you had been thinking about that next big step?
No. My business is changing, and it's now changed a lot since 10 years ago, or not 7 years ago. But so I was a little worried, what should I do next? And that's why I was pushing interior design a lot. So when this kind of came my way, I was like, okay, why not? Let's try it. The worst that can happen is that nothing happens, right? So
when we started working together, I remember your first jobs were Allure magazine, Sephora, Madewell. Are those the clients that you envisioned for yourself modeling at this age? Were you surprised? What did you think when they started to confirm?
Well, I mean, everything surprised me. I was so not expecting this in my life at all. So it was kind of a delight because it was just like, oh, okay, let's go, let's do this. And also all these clients are clients I had been working with as a prop stylist or set design. So each time I go to a job, I know people on set from my other jobs. So it feels like I'm in the right place, doing the right thing. What did surprise me a lot is that it's a new thing in this business, but everything is filmed and you have to talk. And for me, talking in public is hard. I've mastered it a little bit more now, but the first job I got, I had to be interviewed. It was all being filmed, and I was like, whoa, this is scary. But, you just do it. You have to.
I mean, it's interesting because I feel like when I was a young agent, models were really seen but not heard.
Right.
And now it's really the opposite.
Yes.
And when we're scouting at Muse, we have to make sure that we're signing talent that can handle
Right.
BTS and video because the industry has radically changed.
Absolutely.
And I'm sure, has that changed your day job on set?
Yes. You mean as a model or as a prop stylist?
As a prop stylist?
Yes, it has.
In which ways? Are they looking for more content? Are they doing more shots? Are they
More shots, because everything you shoot as a still, you have to shoot as a film. And at first, it was always a second thought, but now it's a big part of what we're doing because it's the most important part. And so now they're starting to have storyboards of thinking about what they're doing because they realize that they need to have structure to make it work, to make it worth the money. So it has to be integrated in. And, as a prop stylist, if you're just shooting a still image, there's a lot you can do to rig things and make it work. But in film, you can't do that. You have, everything in a 360 has to be perfect.
And how did you transition from film into fashion?
Okay, that's a good story too. So the film business at that, when I was working in film in New York, was a lot of independent films that were being shot in New York. And all of a sudden, the whole business kind of transitioned to LA. Everything kind of moved to LA, and there was not so much independent film here anymore. So I got to a point where I was like, oh, should I move to LA? I don't really want to do that. It's too far from home. Anyway, so I was doing a TV commercial, and the fashion stylist, she said, you know, do you do photography? And I was like, no, but I would like to. She goes, I have to introduce you to somebody. I think you two would be really good together. So, okay. So she introduced me to Reuven Afanador. And I went to see him, and, you know, he's my age, so we were kids. And I showed him my book, and he looked at it as if it was the most beautiful published book, and asked questions about each photo. And all these photos of sets I had taken myself. They were not beautiful, but anyway, but he treated it as if it was something very important. And he gave me a job right away. And we worked together for 10 years. So that's how I went into fashion business. And, you know, we did, in those days, we did music, like album covers, fashion, advertising. We did all sorts of things. We traveled all over the world. We worked in Paris, in London, in LA, all over the US. So it was a lot of fun.
Tell me about on set. You must have worked with many celebrities even at that time.
Oh, yeah.
Was that a learning experience? What did you take away from that, or how did you approach it?
Well, I mean, every person is different, obviously, but the one thing that was always amazing to me is that the ones that are successful are the ones who give themselves, who they have no barriers. There's not work to try to get in to them, and they just offer themselves to the camera, to the photographer. So that was the biggest takeaway, to watch that. And sometimes the celebrities were not celebrities yet. They were babies. Like the first time I saw Beyonce, she was with her mom, and she was not Beyonce. But she was still, she radiated something. And that's what it takes. Or another time I was working with Diana Ross, and I was installing the stage that we were going to shoot. I was doing the sets. And she walked in, and she was 100 feet from me, and my back turned, and I turned because something made me turn, and there she was. And that's, you know, that's magnetism, right? And that's what it takes. But you have to sort of project out. You can't be in, which is my tendency, right? Just to sort of protect myself. So that's the biggest takeaway, is these people just give themselves.
Have you ever been starstruck on set?
Oh, yes, many times. Yes. It's hard not to be. I mean, I treat everybody the same everywhere. I always have, and I always will. But there are some people, they're so big. You know, they take so much space, and it's like a nice vibe that you want to be near it. So, yes.
I love that. When you're on set as a model, do you find that younger models look to you or talk to you or seek out advice? What is that relationship like?
I'm as old as their grandmothers, most of them. So some of them come to me, they're like, they come right at me as if they're kind of looking for comfort, as you would a grandmother. But you know, there's never time to really talk a lot on set because you're busy doing this, that, you're always moving. But some of them are just, they gravitate, and that's nice. It's flattering, obviously. And some just ignore me just because they don't know what to do with me. So,
what advice would you give to younger models who are starting in the industry. You have so much experience on set, behind the scenes,
Right.
and in front. What do you think they would benefit from knowing?
Well, I think, as I was saying before about stars that I've worked with, is that you have to give yourself. You can't be reluctant, because it's going to be a better experience for everybody, including yourself. You just have to be open and radiate. That's your job. But some models, they don't see, like I think they're a little bit scared, maybe, and it feels like you're sort of losing yourself, but in fact you're not. You're part of the process, and that's the job, right? But sometimes I think it's hard to do that when you're young, because you don't really know who you are yet. And also, people make us do crazy things. Like sometimes it's like, are you really serious? You want me to do that? But you just have to go with it, because that's what you're getting paid for. And that's difficult sometimes. You just have to sort of say, okay, that's their thing. Let's just do this, get it over with. And sometimes you have surprising results, sometimes not so much. But so that's the advice I would give, is to sort of just go with the flow, not try to control the situations so much.
That sounds like great life advice for all of us,
Yeah, but
on set and off.
Yes, but when you're younger, you also don't know what you can accept from people and what you have to protect yourself from. That comes with experience, obviously, because sometimes people say really nasty things and you have to just let it roll off. That's not so easy to do when you're young. But so that's the advice. It's just, find your center and stay there, but radiate.
Do you look at the comments on social media, or
No.
do you get random DMs and read them?
Yes. No. Well, I should be more diligent about that, but I get all sorts of DMs that are whatever. So I kind of do it once a month, which I should probably do it more often, but anyway. Because sometimes it's just like nonsense, but whatever.
I mean, it's an unusual world, because we didn't grow up with the
No.
ability of everyone to contact everyone
Right.
at all times. So it can be a lot coming at you.
Yeah, but I think that's more the young people that would get that. Not so much. I don't think anyone is ballsy enough to DM me with some nasty comment about my appearance. Although a younger person, I think probably, because that's their world. That's the way they do transactions with each other.
I know sometimes at 51, I feel very free and liberated from that world.
Yes.
And we grew up with before, and
Yes.
we also know how to use it.
Right.
So I feel like we're lucky to have a foot in both worlds.
Yes, definitely. Definitely. Because now I feel like, because you're talking to a machine, there's nothing holding you back. There's no civility. You don't need to be polite. You would never say half the things people say now on social media to someone's face. Never in a million years. And I think that's unfortunate, because it sort of isolates people. And, we couldn't do that when we were young.
Maybe that's advice I can give my son, which is don't ever write anything to a computer that you wouldn't say to someone's face.
Yes, absolutely. And I make a big effort, because sometimes I would also like to say something not so nice. And I absolutely, that's my rule, never write something derogatory or negative, never. There's just too much of that. And it's too easy. You don't know who you're talking to. You're just talking to a machine.
You also can't take it back.
You can't take it back, and you have no control of where it's going to go. So definitely, I'm like,
Mom's the word.
Yes, absolutely.
Your hair has been mentioned to me by many, many clients. When did you go gray? Was it a big deal to you? Were you upset about it? How do you feel about your hair?
Okay, so first I'm going to start by saying I used to have red hair, right? So blonde red, but it was red. And red hair does not go gray. It goes kind of blonde white, but I didn't know that. So first it started to dull, and it just looked like a kind of wet mouse. It was ugly. So I started coloring. First, very lightly, just highlight, blah, blah, blah. But over time, all of a sudden, I was completely dyeing my hair. And I used to travel a lot for work, and I was always in hotel rooms painting the roots. And one day I was in a hotel in LA, and I was just like, no, I can't do this anymore, with my stupid little tray with the plastic things. And I just thought, okay, that's it, not doing this anymore. So I came back home, and I went to a salon, and I told the salon that they specialize in hair color that I want to let it go natural. And he said, it's going to take 2 years. Okay, let's go, let's do it. And it did take 2 years, until one day he said, okay, we're done. Because, I couldn't have something growing like this. So, and what came out was, this, which is so much nicer than what I expected. I mean, I don't know what I expected, but so, voila.
I feel like clients love it.
Hairdressers love me.
So now you could shoot an ad, and really you're shooting a short film,
Always.
a commercial,
Always.
a print ad, BTS, all in one day, 2 days.
I just did a big campaign for a big clothing brand that's, worldwide. And there were 4 teams on set.
Wow. Photographer,
still life photographer, motion, and social media. So that's a lot of people. And there were 4 independent teams, and there was nobody that was like on top of it. Well, there was one person who was on top of it all, but you can't be in 4 places at the same time, right? So there was a creative director for each group. So that dilutes also.
I saw that call sheet, and there were a lot of pages to it.
Yes. There was 150 people on set. That's a lot of people.
Is that the most elaborate set you've ever been on?
Yes, I think so. I mean, I've been on very elaborate sets that are motion pictures, motion film. How do you say that? On films. And that's also very elaborate. But this was epic.
I love that. I have a question. What is your favorite item of clothing?
A jacket. Hello.
Where is that from?
This one is from Cala Saibene in Milan. So are the pants.
Do you buy new clothes, vintage, a mix? Are you a big shopper?
I'm not a big shopper because I always wear the same thing. I've been wearing the same thing for 40 years. But because of my job, first of all, I always have to look presentable. But also what I do ruins clothes, so go through it. So I spend money on sort of good quality, cheap things that can be replaced easily. And then, of course, I have key pieces that are higher.
What's a go-to brand for clothing to wear to work as a set designer?
You're going to laugh.
No.
Gap. I love the
Timeless.
Gap. I love the Gap. Because it's well cut, it's well made, and if I ruin it, who cares?
So that's your uniform?
Yeah, because I'm telling you, if I go to work dressed with something nice, you can be sure it's going to get ruined. Guaranteed. One drop of glue, done. For example.
Who is your style icon?
Oh, I love Isabelle Huppert. She's a French actress. I love her. She's my #1 icon.
I love that.
And then I also liked another French lady called Sophie Fontanelle. I don't know if you know who she is, but
No, who is she?
She's
Is she an actress?
no, she's a writer, but she loves fashion. She loves vintage clothes. She loves, and she has this great IG account where she's such a good writer. She writes books, but she also writes about fashion. So she's at all the fashion shows. She knows everybody. Anyway, she's very entertaining, and she's my age. So
she's a peer.
Oh yeah.
Paulina Poroskova said aging is a privilege. What's your take on that?
Absolutely. Absolutely a privilege. And also, for me, I don't know for everybody else, but for me, it just gets better. So, I mean, of course, my face is not the way I would like it to be. It's full of wrinkles, but what can you do? You just have to go with it. But life is so much better now, just because I know who I am, I know where I'm going, I know what I want. I mean, I don't really know where I'm going, but I don't care because I know that I can manage whatever comes at me.
And how old are you now?
67.
It's great for people of all ages to know that the best times are coming.
Yeah. I mean, it's the best. What can I say? And I think if you're open, it's all about being open and radiating, being open to other people, to new experiences, to open your heart. I know it sounds a little corny to say that, but that's what it's about.
I think some of those old adages, there's a reason why they never go out of style.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for joining us today.
Pleasure.
I loved hearing about your life, and I love working with you, and I look forward to what's ahead.
Well, I'm so grateful that you're in my life. That was a big surprise, and it keeps on coming.
I know. I love bothering you, taking away from your day job. Thank you very much. I'll see you soon.
You're welcome.